If you want to pass your prop firm challenge, not only pass your prop firm challenge, but maintain payouts at a consistent level and become your own independent, consistent, funded, and profitable trader, I recommend listen to each and every rule and the trade plan that I'm going to break down for you. I'm not saying this is the holy grail system, but I'm saying this is something that I'm busy with a case study on that has been working for me as a full-time prop firm trader that's been trading for 7 years. This was the most recent payout that I had with my prop firm. The only reason I'm able to get these payouts is because I'm constantly simulating prop firm challenges, doing live trading backtests, collecting data, and this is what I want to introduce today. This is basically the secret sauce of trading, is learning how to collect data properly and actually simulate live accounts and prop firm accounts. So over here is my total of my $400,000 funded accounts in total, which I've made $35,000 on, which was a total of just over 8% in the month of July and August. So in today's video, I'm going to show you what it's like to backtest, and I'm going to backtest and live trade. So if we click on backtesting over here, we can then go and get started with our live trading session. What I recommend you do is, if you guys want the right tools to collect data, simulate live trading conditions, practicing risk management, trading a simulated $100,000 or $200,000 account, you can enter your own account size. Come over to a tool called FX Replay. I will leave a link down below to FX Replay. You can click on create session and we can go and start our live trading session. Okay, so I'm going to go and enter $100,000 just as a simulation account. Going to look at GBP USD. Our start date, we can have a look at July, as I haven't looked at July. This year before August, I only traded XAU USD, so I don't know what XAU did these months, but we can come over to, it would make sense to start on a Monday. I just want to start this in the morning, and we can start this at 7 o'clock, because I'm going to break down exactly why and the rules of the strategy. Okay, and we can go and end this at the July on a Friday, which would make sense as well. All right, we can use the 28th as the 29th and 30th is a Saturday. Okay, so we can end that on the 28th on Friday. Our strategy, we're going to be using our 7 a.m. Frankfurt sweep as buy and sell side liquidity, and our 3 p.m. Chicago session as buy side and sell side liquidity. Okay, we can go and click on save and we can go and launch this simulation. Okay, so over here you'll see the only indicators that I've got on my chart is my sessions, which I don't really even need to look at. I can actually disable this completely. Well, we can leave it on just to see when the sessions are, but they're not really too important. And then I've got a simple market structure indicator over here that just gives a bit of confluence. But as you can see, account balance at 100,000, P&L record at 0, or we haven't had any trades yet. So first and foremost, I just quickly want to make a bit of note for you guys and more of a step-by-step format that I want you to take note of. First step in this specific trade plan is mark out the 7 a.m. Frankfurt candle. And we're going to use that as buy side or sell side liquidity, because during this time of the market, and this again is determined by years of collecting data, backtesting, seeing what works best with liquidity sweeps, price likes to stop hunt and search liquidity at this time in the market. So it's basically the Frankfurt kill zone, if you want to call it that. And then trade plan, or point number 2 in this trade plan, is again the 3 p.m. Chicago session candle, which we're going to use as buy side or sell side liquidity. Again, price at that time looking to stop hunt, collect liquidity and money to move its next move. Then point number 3, we're going to look for a displacement with a fair value gap entry. Okay, just the usual ICT entry confirmation. So to go and put this into action, we can actually go and get started with our live trading session. Again, take note of how simple the trade plan is. This is exactly how trading should be. You don't need to complicate things. Again, how to determine what works for you is taking yourself through live trading and backtesting sessions such as this one that I am about to introduce to you. Okay, so we want to come over to GBP USD 1 hour time frame to mark out that 7 a.m. candle. So at the moment, this is the 7 a.m. candle. I'm just going to quickly move it 1 forward. So over here, we can see the 7 a.m. candle is closed. So you'll be marking out this candle just after 8 a.m. like we've done over here. So we can then come to the 1 minute. All right, so this will be our low for buy side liquidity, and this will be our high at the top of that candle for sell side liquidity. So whichever high or low price takes, we'll look for our confirm. Okay. All right, price is now taken that low, so we want to see a candle and another candle, and then a big displacement up with a fair value gap to look to enter on. Okay. So if we follow structure, now after the sweep, we can let this play out. Okay, no real displacement to the upside, so we can keep following this through. Okay, so here we have a big displacement to the upside, market structure shift, and we have a valid fair value gap over here. Okay, so mechanically and rule-based, stop below the low, targeting a 1 to 3 risk to reward. Okay, so if I bring back my rules, which I've lost that text now. All right, so always a 1 to 3 risk to reward mechanically, just for risk to management purposes. Again, we're not targeting any specific point. Okay, we can actually go and place this order, risking 1%. Why is this place order? Oh, it needs to be a limit, 1%. Place order, 1%. Why is this not working? Wait. Place order, 1%. Oh, there we go. Limit. Okay, there we go. Now it's set. Okay. We tapped in immediately. We can let this play out. Just going to speed it up slightly. Okay. I was about to set B, but we hit full TP there for 1 to 3R. So already we're 3% up on the account. But the important thing about this type of risk to reward is once you get those 1 or 2 runners, you can afford a couple of losses. As your losses, once you manage risk correctly, I'm going to only strictly be risking 1% per trade. Your losses will really be 3 times smaller than what your wins will be. So again, that's it done for Frankfurt and London session. That's your trade. Nothing else to look for. We come back to the 1 hour and we only come back to the charts at 3 p.m. I'm just quickly going to move my webcam just so you can see the P&L. I'm just going to put it up here in the top right corner like that, so you can just see all the data, all the closed positions. All right, so now what we do is, oh, here's my text here. Okay, so just to add point number 4, target 3R mechanically only. Okay, let's just correct that. Targeting 3R mechanically. Okay, so then we can move price. We can move that 7 a.m. candle box, 8 a.m. So I'm just quickly going to move this to 3 p.m. So that's 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so there's the 3 p.m. candle, which again is GMT plus 2 or UTC plus 2. So you would need to adjust that to your time zone. Okay, so we can mark out the high and the low of that candle, and this becomes our buy and sell side liquidity. All right, so we can let price play through. We've had that sweep to the upside, so we want to see a push down with a displacement. Okay, kind of like that. We can actually mark out that fair value gap over here. So there's your big displacement, market structure shift with the fair value gap. So we can go and enter on this FEG. We can put our stop at that high, targeting a mechanical 1 to 3 risk to reward. Again, just going to use a limit order. Why is this not filling out? Place order 1%. There we go. Sell limit. Okay, so there's an example. Price ran without you. But importantly, what I do like to see from this, price is still going our expectational way and alongside our bias. So over here, we can then remove limit, no trade for this afternoon. Again, we then move on to the next day. And that's what I love about the system. It keeps you in such a rule-based, systematical way of trading, eliminating all emotions, eliminating trying to force trades. eliminating FOMO. You're either going to have a setup or not. But again, you will know if this works for you through live trading and backtesting, like I'm taking you through. Okay, so this is now the 4 p.m. candle. We can move to the next day at 7 a.m. So we can actually fast forward this a bit. So this is 4 o'clock. So this would be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so this is the only candle we're going to be looking at is Frankfurt session. So we can go and mark this session in a box. 1 minute time frame, and we've now got our buy and sell side liquidity. Okay. Okay, we've had that sweep to the upside, so we want to see that displacement with a fair value gap. Nothing yet. Nothing yet. Nothing yet. Just really pauses in price action. Nothing yet. All of this is just really pause candles. There's no fair value gaps or displacement forming. So we really want to see that big displacement to the downside. Okay, so that's a bit of a market structure shift. We do actually have quite a nice fair value gap here. So we'll set limit here, see if we get that entry. We'll target a 3, risk to reward mechanically, and 1% risk. Okay, that tap in, we can actually set BE at 2R. And that was a full runner. Okay, so yeah, good example of the session sweep. All right, that session swept, really continued with that bullish structure throughout. No real market structure shift until we had this big push to the downside. Okay, we did have that fulfillment of that fair value gap, entry in for 3, risk to reward. Currently 6% up on the account. Okay, so we'll continue with this backtest. This video is probably going to be quite long, but this is what I want you to see. This is the type of source, if you want to call it that, and information that I want you to be exposed to see what it's like collecting data and the hours you need to spend on the charts. Okay, so if we come over to the 1 hour time frame, we can then fast forward to 3 o'clock. So this is 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so again, right over here is your 3. That is 3. Yeah, 3 p.m. candle. Just go and mark this out with a box. Come over to the 1 minute. And we've got our marked out buy and sell side liquidity. So again, we'll fast forward this through. Speed it up a little bit. Okay, so there's the sweep. Okay, so I'm actually happy with that sweep. We do have a nice displacement with a fair value gap over here. So I'm going to take entry here. We can put our stop above that high and target a 3 risk to reward. Place order and 1%. Okay, we've tapped in. We can actually set break even there. I would have set break even at that fractal break. And we've tapped out for another 3%, 3R. So yeah, this was obviously just a very good week going into session, already up 9% on the account with 1 to 3 Rs in a row. So realistically, the month of July, you would have passed your phase 1, which is an 8% target in just 3 trades. But remember, this isn't always going to happen. You're going to have fantastic weeks, and there's weeks going to come where you might take 2 or 3 losses in a row. You'll be on a bit of a losing streak, but that's completely fine because the data, the results, the history of the system is there to prove itself. So you can execute on complete confidence based on your history and data collection. All right, so we can then come back to the 1 hour. We're not looking for any more trades. Again, we're just following our strict trade plan for the 7 a.m. and the 3 a.m. candle, 3 p.m. candle. Okay, so this is currently 4 o'clock, so we can move to the next day. So that's 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 a.m. There we go. Okay, so this is now the Frankfurt. You can see how price moves slowly, Frankfurt moves violently, which then going into London session just after Frankfurt is when price looks to sweep liquidity for that next fuel, which is basically what this entire trade plan is about. Okay, so if we fast forward this, we can wait for either side to get swept. Okay, we've now had that sweep, so we want to see that displacement with a fair value gap. this was actually a valid entry. I just went one too quick. All right, so this will just take as a missed entry. Let's just say we're in session, we missed it, but your entry would have been on this displacement, this gap over here. Stop below the low, targeting a 3R, which, yeah, would have been a full TP runner, but we missed it. Okay, my apologies on that, but that's fine. Maybe that happens in real life. That's the beautiful thing about backtests. It simulates your behavior and how you trade as a trader in real trading conditions. So we can call that a missed trade. Okay, 8 o'clock. We can move now to 3 o'clock. 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3 p.m. Okay, so we can put a box around that. 1 minute, and we can have a look, see which side we sweep first. That will then determine our bias. Okay, sweep to the downside, so we want to see that displacement upwards. No displacement there, just really a pause. Okay, that's a bit of fair displacement. No real fair value gap. Could potentially look at this order block. Let's actually try it. Stop below the low, targeting a 1 till 3. Yeah, I'm not as too confident in the setup because we don't really have any FEG after that displacement. We just really have an order block, but that's fine. We'll take it. We tap in. Okay, we can actually set B on that move. See, now potentially what I would have looked for is entry on that fair value gap with this displacement. So let's actually see if we get a pullback into that fair value gap. And price runs without us and full TP. Okay, so yeah, me in live market conditions, I would have definitely taken entry off the order block like I did. If you looked and waited for the displacement for this fair value gap, you would have ran without you. But that's completely fine. Okay, so that's another 1 to 3R. We can then come over to the 1 hour time frame. 4 o'clock, we can move on to 7 the next day. Okay, that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There we go. Okay, so we can come up to the 1 minute. We'll follow this through. So we've now, okay, sell side has been swept, so we want to look for that displacement. Okay, nice displacement. Just want to wait for one more candle. Okay, so we have that fair value gap here. In this scenario, if you look at entering like this, okay, it's obviously going to be a massive trade. So there would be your 1 till 3. That will be your setup. But because I want to get a bit of a tighter RR, I'm going to look for entry off this order block. Okay. Stop below that high and just a bit of a shorter trade for a 1 to 3R. Like that. We can go and place that order. 1% risk. Tap in. We can actually set BE at this fractal break. Take break even. I'm not going to take partials because that does play with your risk to reward. Okay, and we just got tapped out at BE. That's fine. Let's see where this trade would have ran to. Yeah, so you would have had a BE trade there. Nothing return on that trade. That's completely fine. Manage, risk well managed. So we can then come back to the 1 hour. Follow this through to 7 o'clock, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. Okay, 3 a.m. candle, which is the Chicago. Can mark this out. We can follow this through. Okay, so let's see what we sweep. Okay, we've had that sweep. No real displacement yet, just really a pause, price reacting off of this fair value gap here. So we want to see, in this scenario, the failure of that fair value gap, creating that opposite side BPR to potentially go long. So no real market structure shift or displacement. So we can keep following this through. Still nothing, still nothing. I'd like to see this high get taken out for the market structure shift. There we go. That's what I want to see. Okay, so market structure shift. Displaced move with a fair value gap. Actually, quite a nice example, but we'll take it. who knows where it will run. Okay, stop below the low, targeting a 1-3. Okay, and there's an example where price just ran without you. It's fine, no entry. Important thing is price went alongside our bias. So we can then come back to the 1 hour, no entry for that afternoon trade, still protecting our capital and our equity. 5 o'clock, so we can move on to 7 a.m. So that's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 o'clock. Okay, so there's the 7 a.m. candle. Okay, we've had that sweep to the upside. Want to see a bit of a displacement. Okay, no real displacement here. Okay, that's a nice displacement. So I'm going to take this order block. Again, this is too big of a fair value gap for me, messing around with the risk to reward. So that's okay. We'll just take the order block entry, stop at the high, targeting a 1-3. Okay, tap in. Are we at 2R? Just below 2R. Okay, that's fine. I'm gonna set BE there anyway, just because I like this move. And we came back to BE. Literally missed it by 1 point. That's completely fine. That's okay. All right, another BE trade. We can then come back to the 1 hour. 8 o'clock, so we can move to 3 o'clock. That is 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. Okay. 3 o'clock candle. Okay, so we've had that sweep to the upside. Now we just want to see that displacement. Oh, this was obviously a news day. That's fine, we'll follow our rules. No displacement yet, just really wicks reacting off fractal demand areas. Okay, I like that. Displacement, fair value gap. Also a bit of a structural shift to the downside. So we can take entry at the 50% just because I want to keep that RR or the stop loss a bit tighter. We can take 1% risk over here. Let's see how this runs. Tap in. And tap out. That's fine. Okay. So no entry, well, loss trade on that one, minus 1%. That's completely fine. It's a 100% valid loss. A loss is beautiful when you followed your trade plan. A loss is terrible when you're not following your trade plan, when you're trading on FOMO, emotions, and all that fluff that you don't need to include and complicate your trading system with. So we can move on back to the 1 hour. Okay. And we can follow this through to 7 o'clock that next day. So this is 9, 10, 11, 12, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so there's our 7 a.m. candle. And let's continue, rinse and repeat. Okay, there's that sweep. So we want to look for a bit of a displacement. I'm happy with that. So over here, we have that displacement, market structure shift, fair value gap over here. So I'm going to take entry on that FEG. If we get tapped in, I'll put my stop below that low, taking a 1-3R mechanically. Okay, let's see if we get tap in. Okay, we haven't reached target yet, so we can still leave the limit there. If we hit target without getting tapping in, I usually remove and count it as a mistrade. For example, like that. Okay. Mistrade. So again, remove that limit, no entry for that session, completely fine. We can hop back to the 1 hour and rinse and repeat. Okay, so 9 o'clock, that's now 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3. There we go. Okay. 3 minute Chicago session candle. Was at that low there. And we can see what we sweep first. Let's have a look. Okay, sell side is gone, so we wanted to see that displacement to the downside. Happy with that displacement. Nice fair value gap here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this order block. Okay, and target a 1 till 3. Place that order. Okay, and tap in, tap out. That's completely fine. So yeah, here's an example where if you took the fair value gap, you would have got an entry and just come back to B. But it's fine. That was the trade plan I saw. That's the trade plan I followed. Didn't play out. -1. Come back to the 1 hour. And we can follow this through to the next day. So that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, 7 a.m. candle. Okay, we've swept sell side first, so we want to see that displacement to the downside. Obviously a big news move. No displacement really yet, just a pause in price action. Okay, I like that displacement, especially with this fair value gap. We can actually try this out. It's a little bit of a lower confluence simply because it's a news day. This is a very bullish pressure market, lots of bullishness, lots of buying power. So we're basically selling against the trend, but let's see how it plays out. Okay, so we'll take the 1, we tap in. Okay, I'm going to set break even there. And that was a full runner actually. I wasn't actually as confident in that setup, but that's why we trust the trade plan, not our emotions. Very good example of where I felt it didn't feel like a good setup, but the trade plan played out beautifully. And that was one of the biggest game changers for me in trading. Is I still have feelings. It's normal to have feelings. You're a human. Emotions is how you designed and how you work. It's how you make your decisions. But very good example of where I rather trust the trade plan. And risk management will always have your back if the trade plan doesn't play out. It's a very good example of there actually seeing the emotional side come out. Okay, so we can come back to the 1 hour and follow this through to 3 o'clock. So that's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. Is that 3? Let me just double check. Yeah, that's 4. Damn it. I went 4. 3. I missed it. My bad. I went 1 too quickly. Okay, well, let's just see. We can just recap it, see how it played out. Actually, was a really nice example. So, sweep, displacement, fair value gap entry. That was actually a beautiful example. Of course, it's the one I missed. That's completely fine. That was my fault. I just accidentally got the 1 hour candles wrong. So, yeah, this would have been another 1 till 3, I'm sure. Let's just quickly see. Definitely a 1 to 3. That's okay. Okay, so back to the 1 hour. Mistrade again. Just my fault on my side. 5 o'clock, 6, 7, 8, 9, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Perfect. Okay, let's continue this through. No, that's not a sweep, that's just equal tops. And we have that sweep to the downside. Okay, so our bias this morning will be longs, waiting for that displacement. Okay, nice displacement there. We can actually take maybe entry. I just want to see if this candle closes to create that fair value gap. Yeah, okay, so there's your fair value gap. I'm going to take this order block. Stop below that low. We can take a 1 till 3R. Okay, tap in. right. Okay, so tap in and tap out. Perfectly fine. Lost trade for the morning. That's fine. -1. We move on to the 1 hour. I won't look for more trades. Only one trade in that 7 a.m. session. So if you want to include, for example, we've swept this liquidity now. We've still swept the 7 a.m. Okay. For example, here's another displacement with a fair value gap. You can look at trading like this. Okay, there's your tap in, and you would have got out. So once I take my win or my loss, I will take my next trade to the next 3 or that next 3 p.m. session. Okay, so I won't look for more trades because that's not in my trade plan. 9 o'clock, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we can mark out that 3 p.m. candle. Let's see what we get. Speed this up a little. Okay, there's that sweep to the upside. Want to see a displacement. No real displacement yet. Okay, that's a nice displacement. So there's a nice fair value gap. Over here, I will take the... okay, we'll take the just above the entry of that. Stop at the high. Targeting a 1 till 3. Place that order. Tap in. Okay, we can set BE on that trade. And tap out. Okay, beautiful. 1 to 3R. So yeah, in the morning, we had potentially had a loss. And we had a win. So it would have been a total of a 2 risk to reward day. Back to the 1 hour. We can follow this through. So this is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There we go. One minute time frame. We have our bias. So if we sweep sell side, we're looking for longs. That was a big violet move. Okay, sweep. In this scenario, yeah, I would have taken this order block. Okay, we just haven't tapped in. Okay, so we had the sweep, big displacement. I would have looked at order block entry simply because to enter this fair value gap and have your stop below the low, it's a massive stop and it's going to struggle with your RR. So yeah, would have taken it like this, targeting a 1 till 3 off that wick order block. So again, another confluence for this move is if price has a big news push, the supply or demand zone, so in this scenario it will be this wick zone, because this demand's already been mitigated by this wick. This institutional level holds all of the orders that push the market for this news move. So price often likes to pull back. It acts as like a magnet and reacts off from there. And because we've had that Chicago session sweep, we've had the displacement. This is quite a nice confluence setup, but let's see how it plays out. Again, we're not going to trust emotions. We're going to trust the trade plan. Okay, 3R, again, just risking 1%. Even if it doesn't play out, risk management there is your safety net and always has your back. And, okay, price ran without us. So it really just mitigated this candle again. Okay, this was a valid wick zone, but we didn't get tapped in. That's completely fine. No entry, ran without us. Move on to the next day. So 8 o'clock or the next 3 p.m. This is now 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Okay, we can come over to that 1 o'clock or 1 minute. See where we sweep. Okay, so we're not looking for fair value gap entries or anything over here. We need to wait for either side of this 3 p.m. candle to sweep first before we determine our bias. Okay, there's that sweep to the upside. So now we just want to see a displacement. Still nothing because this fair value gap, there's no fair value gap here, so no real displacement. Okay, that's a fair displacement. So in this case, I will take this supply fractal range simply because we don't really have a clear fair value gap, but we do have the displacement. So we'll take my stop at the high, again, targeting a 3. Okay. And no entry. Okay, so that ran without us. Perfectly fine. We can remove that limit. Let's follow through, see if price continues bearish. yeah, so it went beautifully according to bias. We just didn't get tapped in. It's a difficult one because there was no real fair value gap to work with. You did have a more recent order block or supply area over here, but I would have taken the extreme, and that's how I saw it, and that's how I placed my limit. So again, it's fine. We can move on to the next day. So this is 5 o'clock. So it goes 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 a.m. Perfect. Okay, see where we sweep. Okay, so we've had buy side sweep. Want to see that displacement. I like that displacement. So I'm going to take, I don't like this wick. I'll take this order block at the 50% in this scenario. Again, just because I'm very stingy on my RR and how big my trades are. So yeah, I'm going to take the 50% because this wick is included in this order block, and that's where our stop would be. I'm going to set it up like this. Okay, see if we get that tap in. Quickly want to place the order. Okay, so tap in and tap out. Okay, that's fine. -1. We can then move on to the next 3 p.m. with 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. There's 3 p.m. 1 o'clock. Okay, let's have a look. Okay, sweep to the downside. Nasty gap here. Let's have a look. Okay, so there's displacements. Again, I'm going to take this order block. 1 to 3. Okay, let's target 3R. Why won't it let me place this order? Come on. There we go. Buy limits. Okay, there we go. Let's see if we get that tap in. Okay, there's tap in. We've been tapped in. This is valid because we haven't reached our target. Okay, I'm going to set B over there. So that's about 2R. So we'll take break even. Okay, and we're out of B. We just missed full TP, that's fine. Equity protected. We move on to the next trade and the next plan. Okay, so that was then the 5 a.m. or 3 p.m. candle, not a.m. Let's move on to 7 a.m. the next morning. So that's 10, 11, that's 12, 11, 12, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep. Is that a sweep? Yeah, that was a sweep, so we can now look for that displacement. No real displacement, really just an engulfing candle. We want to see a displacement with more or less a clear fair value gap. Same thing there. Okay, I like that. So in this scenario, I'll take this order block. Okay, displacement, market structure shift. So we'll take that order block so below those wicks. We can target a 1 till 3. Thinking, I don't like these lows. Okay, so we'll give us some space there below those wicks and that liquidity. Let's place that order. Okay, tap in and tap out. Okay, that's fine. -1. Potentially ran 1R, didn't run my 2R for B. That's fine. We'll take that as a -1. And we can move on to the next day. Okay, 8 o'clock, 9, 10, 11, 12, 12, 12, 12, 1, 2, 3 p.m. Okay, so as this 3 p.m. closes, which you'll be looking at 4 p.m. realistically when you're trading, Okay, you mark out that candle, come over to the 1 minute, and we see what we sweep. Okay, so we've had buy sign sweep. We just want to see that displacement. Okay, it's still moving to the upside. We want to see a clear push down with a fair value gap. Okay, I like that. Displacement, fair value gap, also market structure shift. I'll just target a 1 till 3. There we go. There. So it hasn't tapped us in yet. See if we get tap in. Okay, tap in. Okay, I'm going to set BE after that low, that fractal low. And out at BE. It's fine. BE trade, equity protected, on to the next day. Okay. So 9 o'clock, that's now 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There we go. Okay, so we've had that sweep to the downside. So our bias is now to look for longs. Understanding we're also reacting off higher time frame order blocks, so it makes sense. Okay, there's the displacement. This wick has really covered everything. So I'll take this order block. And yeah, okay. For me, not really a market structure shift, no real displacement because this wick really filled everything. So that's fine. That's also why I didn't enter, but we'll continue through. Okay, massive tank. That's fine. We'll still look for... Oh, there's a nice displacement. Okay, so yeah, this is what we want to see. That displacement with that clear fair value gap. Okay, so that's perfect. I'm going to enter off that. I'll just keep my stop below that candle's low and target a 1 to 3. Okay, it's still valid to leave the limit. We haven't hit target yet. And we've gone without us. Okay, so that's fine. Price left without us, no entry. Move on to the next session. Okay, 9 o'clock. So that's then 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. 3 o'clock. Okay, we've had buy side go. Just want to look for that displacement with a fair value gap. Okay, I like that. Displacement, fair value gap, also market structure shift. Keep my stop maybe above those wicks. And we can target a 1 till 3. Okay, tap in. I'm going to set B at 2R, and if we take out that fractal low, there we go. Okay, we can set break even on that. Okay, that was a full runner. It's a full 3R that day. Our first win since this was the 18th. Our last win was on the 14th. So yeah, this is where you went 4 days without a win, without a full runner. So you had your full run on the 14th. We had a -1, BE, -1, BE for about 3-4 days in a row. And then finally our full runner. So again, good example of where you might be getting frustrated in those 3-4 days where you're not getting any trades, but understanding your data and the results of your proven history, there's nothing to stress about. That will always speak for itself. And now again on the 18th, we've had our full runner for a 3R. Alrighty, moving on to the 1 hour and on to the next day. So that is now 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, one more. That's 6 a.m. 7 a.m. There we go. Okay, so now we're at 8 a.m. Can mark out that 7 a.m. Frankfurt candle. Come over to the 1 minute. Let's have a look. See. Ooh, geez. Okay, sweep to the upside. So clearly no entry on shorts. All right, so we want to see market structure shift with the displacement. Still nothing. This wasn't really a shift as well as a displacement. Okay, so if we take out these highs with the displacement, we can look to go long. Still nothing, still nothing, still nothing. Really want to see that big push up. Okay, I like that. Okay, so over here we have valid fair value gap. Also this order block. So what I want to do is, because this is also a bit of liquidity, I'm going to take on the order block and I want to get my stops below these lows and target that 3R. Okay, see what we get. And prices without us. Yeah, okay. I'm going to delete that limit. Prices hit target again. So according to rules, we remove the limit. But let's see if we get that reaction off that order block. Yeah, so potential entry would have been in running, floating, really then back at BE. So it's just interesting to see how it plays out. Yeah, definitely a BE, especially after that fractal high went. So yeah, would have been a B trade if you left your limit, but for me that would have been a no entry according to rules. All right, back to 1 hour. 10 o'clock, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops, missed it by 1. Damn it, not thinking here. That's fine. Okay, let's just see if we can still maybe get something. Yeah, okay, so we had that sweep. We've now really just had that. Nothing really here. So I would have looked for this potential fair value gap. Keep my stop below that wick. And we target a 3. Okay, so we've hit targets again. No runner. So this day, fine. No trades. 100% valid. So if we let this play out, let's just see actually what would have happened. If you do keep your limit. Yeah, definitely took off without you. All right, so on to the next day. Let's follow through. 6 o'clock, 7, 8, 9, 9, 9, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. Okay, so 7 o'clock, we're also reacting for order blocks and demand areas over here. So potentially want to see sweep of this low to go long. That's fine. We'll just react to what price does in session or in this Chicago session. Okay, there's the sweep of lows. Just want to see that displacement. If we take out that high with the displacement, that will be great. Okay, I actually like that because we have this displacement, also a fair value gap over here. So potentially can enter on there. We have enough room to keep our stops below the low. Targeting until 3. And we've hit target without. Okay, so I'm going to remove that limit. Let's see how it would have played out. All right, if you left your limit, you would have got stopped out. Because you hit target, you would have had a no runner according to rules. That's how I keep my rules. Okay, so no runner again. That's fine. So there we go. It's another 3 sessions in a row with a missed runner, which is perfectly fine. Okay, so we can move on to 3 p.m. That's 12, 1, 2, 3. 3 o'clock. Okay. Let's have a look. See. Okay, let's sweep to the upside. So we're going to be looking for shorts, which makes sense. These are also weak lows. These are protected highs. Okay, there we go. Displacement to the downside with a fair value gap. So this is a valid entry. price ran without us again. Okay, so remove limit. And that's fine. 2 days in a row with no entry. That's okay. The main thing is your equity, your account balance is being protected by not being affected by FOMO and emotions. Always just follow the trade plan. Okay, so 4 o'clock. Oops. That's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 p.m., 7 a.m. Okay. New day, new trade plan. 1 a.m. 1 minute candle, 1 minute time frame. Displacement, big news move up. Nice displacement. I just want to see where this candle closes. Okay, I just want to quickly see, is that a wick? If that's a wick, that's actually quite a nice... That is a wick. Okay, I love these wick zones. I talk a lot about this in my private Discord community with my members. So yeah, big move up, displacement, big fair value gap. Actually going to take entry on that wick zone. We'll target a 1 till 3. Let's see if we get tapped in. Okay, we'll set B after that low's taken out. Just must be nearly. Okay, and a full runner. All right, perfectly fine. I actually like the setup. This was actually a beautiful wick supply zone. Big news move up, big push and displacement to the downside with a wick supply zone. I like those kind of setups. So yeah, took entry, just followed the trade plan, full runner for 3R. So again, after eventually 2 days of no entries, we finally get that runner. Back to the 1 hour. 9 o'clock, that's now 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. Let's go Chicago. Okay. Let's see what we get. Nothing, we're just going to range. At a sweep. Okay, we're coming up like 9 o'clock at night. Still nothing. No, this is at 8 o'clock at night. Okay, so realistically, I'm not going to look at trading at this time. I don't trade this late. But let's see for backtesting purposes what plays out. So this for me would have been a no trade. Afternoon. Okay, so there we go. Displacement, fair value gap. Let's just forward test this without actually taking the limit and see what would have happened. Okay, it's a valid trade plan. It's just out of session and not in my trading hours. Okay, you would have had a full runner, so that's fine. I didn't take it because it was just out of session, not in my rules, so that's fine. We move on to the next day. So 9 o'clock, so that's 10, 11, 12, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, just make sure, 6 and 7. Okay, so 7 o'clock candle coming into the 1 hour areas of supply. So we would like to see the sweep to the upside and then go for shorts. That will be ideal, but that's fine. We let that play out and decide for itself. Okay, sweep to the downside. Displacement with a fair value gap here. So I'm going to take entry on that FEG for longs. Target a 1 till 3. Keep my stop a little bit tighter below those wicks. There we go. Okay, still entry, no valid entry. We've now targeted that target and the opposite sell, so buy side. Okay, so no entry. See what would have played out and just really continued long from there. Yeah, so definitely would have entered that. That's fine. We can then come over to the 1 hour and continue to the next session. 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's let this play out. Okay, swept buy sides. We just want to see that displacement. There we go. That's nice. Okay, so we want to see what that next candle does. Okay, fair value gap there. So we'll take on that fair value gap. Stop below that low. Targeting a 1 till 3. Tap in. Okay, if we get to 2R, it's about there. Over here, we can set BE. Okay, so we'll set BE. What? It just missed. Okay, full runner. Alright, so there was another full runner, 3R. It didn't come back to B. Beautiful afternoon. Back onto the 1 hour and the next trade plan. Okay. So this is now 5. Let's go 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There we go. Okay, sweep to the upside. Looking for a displacement. I don't really like this. There's no real fair value gaps to work with. Let's let price play out. See what we get. Okay, that's better. I like that. So that's what I want to see. The displacement with a fair value gap. So we can take entry. I'll take on the 50% of that. Put our stops above those wicks. And target a 3R. Okay, it's still valid to enter. We have any target in and out. That's perfectly fine. -1. Alrighty, and we move on to the 1 hour, follow into the next day. 8 o'clock, 9, 10, 11, wait, yeah, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's continue. Okay, sweep to the upside. I like that. Nice displacement with a fair value gap. So we'll take entry just inside that FEG, targeting a 1 till 3. In. Okay, I'll set B on that. That's about 2R. So we'll protect that risk. And out of B. That's fine. Capital protected, no runner. See what would have happened. And yeah, so if you didn't set B, you would have got stopped out. B, brilliant. Break even trade, capital protected. Okay, back to the 1 hour. Let's look 4 o'clock. So it's 5, 6, yeah, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There we go. Okay, no sweep yet. That's a sweep. Okay, I went a little bit quick, but no real displacement, just really wicks and awful price action. I'd like to see that high get taken out. Okay, I like that. That's much better. Fair value gap. We'll take that at the 50%. Stop at that high. Targeting a 1 till 3. Okay, in and out. That's fine. So let's have a look. Yeah, so we just swept, tapped the fair value gap, and most likely we'll continue from there. Okay, so yeah, definitely room for a potential re-entry. Yeah, so also maybe one thing now that I've seen from this displacement here, not really a true market structure shift. We're still respecting strong protected lows. This was really the true market structure shift with the fair value gap over here. Stop above the high to go short. But that's fine. Missed it this trade. Saw it, took it as is, followed the trade plan and was out. So that's okay. Important maybe after every loss you take, just have a look what went and why it went the other way. Okay, continuing to 3 p.m. This is now 1, 2, and 3. Ta-da. Okay, 1 minute. Let's have a look. Okay. Ooh, that's nice. Okay, so sweep, displacement, fair value gap, gonna enter on that. Actually, I'm just gonna enter on the top of that order block just to keep the stop loss a bit tighter. Targeting a 1 to 3, we can place that order. Okay, let's see what we get. Tap in. Okay, we can set B. And tap out. Okay, so that was a full 3R runner. Okay, coming back to the 1 hour. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There we go. Okay, so 7 o'clock 1 hour candle. We're coming into strong protected lows, areas of fair value gaps here. So we would like to potentially see that buy side sweep to continue long. Okay, if we come to the 1 minute, we can just actually react from there. So let's have a look. Yeah, good chance for price to take out those lows. Maybe not. Okay, there we go. So let's have a look. Sweep, no real displacement. Just really awful wick action. Want to see a clear fair value gap. Yeah, that's more like it. Okay, so we'll take this fair value gap here. We'll take limits on that, stop below that low or that wick. We target a 3. See if we get that pullback. And absolutely gone. Alright, missed trade. That's fine. We can then come back to the 1 hour and continue this through. So 9 o'clock. Beautiful bullishness. Exactly what we expected actually. 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. Okay, big ass 3 candle. Let's have a look. 1 minute. Okay, so we're most likely going to sweep lows and go for longs. That's fine. Yep, there's that sweep. Okay. Displacement push, but we want to see the next candle form that fair value gap. Okay, so that fair value gap's been filled. So not really a displaced push. I'm not 100% satisfied with that. Yeah, that's why. So we swept that low. Looking, just continuously looking for that fair value gap. Nothing yet. Oh, that wick is awful. Okay, keep following this through. Nope. Much better. That's what you want to see, is a clear fair value gap like that. You can actually take entry on that. Targeting 1 till 3. Come on, give me something. Nothing to work with and runs without us. Alright, that's fine. Missed entry, missed entry. Perfect. Main thing is capital is protected. Move on to the next day. Alrighty. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There we go. Okay, so we potentially want to go for long buyers today. Or short buyers actually, because these are strong protected highs. But we'll see, we'll see. We'll just react to what price does. Okay, sweep of the high. Also swept those highs there. That's fine. Let's have a look. Displacement, give me something. Nothing. Nothing clean. Nothing clean yet. There we go. That's what I want to see, is displacement with a fair value gap. Stop above that high. And we can now take a 3. Tap in and tap out. Okay, it's a -1. That's perfectly fine. So now this is an inverse fair value gap. Check this out. Most likely we'll get longs from here. Not that I would take this. No, you don't. Okay. All right. So following this through, I wouldn't look for re-entry, but if I had to, potential fair value gap here. Okay. So we'll see what we get. Yeah. So definitely could have got a re-entry, but again, not really in my rules. If I want to include it in my rules, I need to back test it and let the data decide if it needs to be in my rules or not. That's fine. We'll just move on to the next day. Okay, so that's all 3 o'clock. So that's 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. Okay, we're coming off 1 hour fair value gaps as well. So we'd like to see which side we sweep. Potentially want to go short today. Yeah, that's what I want to see. Okay, I like that. Market structure shift, fair value gap displacement here. Also taking out these fractal lows. We'll take the 50% of that. In and out. That's fine. Okay, so if we had to look for re-entry, you just let it play out. No real fair value gaps. Well, there's one over here. Okay, so if I had to enter, for example, I would look at that for potential re-entry. But I'm just going to forward test it, won't live take it, as it's not in the rules for today's trading session. So you would have got your tap in. Okay, potential B, and you would have got your full runner. Yeah, so your re-entry there would have been a full runner, but it's fine. We'll take a -1. Move on to the next day. 4 o'clock, so that's 5, 6, 7. Oh, okay, that's session over. All right, so that's done. All right, let's have a look at the analytics. So in this month on GBP USD, using the 7 a.m. Frankfurt session and the 3 p.m. Chicago session. All right, liquidity sweep by our south side, displacement fair value gap entry, 62.5% win rate, 120 or 21.3% return, which would have been $21,000 on a 100K account. Our max loss, what was our worst loss streak? We had a max loss. We had a max loss of 2 in a day. This was for the week. So 2 in a day minus 2% in a day. So yeah, if you're trading a prop firm, oh yeah, we can actually see. Biggest day loss was -2 on a Friday. So yeah, that was So using the strategy, you will never hit 5% daily drawdown simply because you only will have max 2 trades a day. Really happy with these results. I'm going to continue to collect a lot more data on this. I hope you guys got a lot of good value from this live trading session. Go and back test it yourself. If you want to join my live streams going into session every single morning, I will leave a link down below to my Discord community. There's also a full section 1 to 7 chronological ICT and SMC, structure, supply, demand, 3 structure types, case studies, mechanical systems, etc., etc. Basically 6-7 years of information that I've learned from the markets put together in one chronological course from A to Z for a beginner. I'll leave that link down below to the Discord. You'll also see a video over there with me that goes over everything inside of the Discord. I'll also leave a free playlist over here somewhere on this video. My trading playlist with years of videos back in 2019 and 2020, where I used to trade with chart patterns and all sorts of pattern types, to where I've developed my trading system to today. If you're keen on joining my Discord community called Funded, where I'll go over daily analysis, live stream markup, and trade plan every single morning, going into session 8 a.m. and 2 p.m. GMT +2, private course videos of the full methodology breakdown, a lot of members passing their funding challenges and maintaining their prop firm payouts consistently, rule-based trade plans, trade ideas and signal chat for the public trade rooms, the whole course content, risk management, psychology, backtesting videos, live trading videos, recaps with me, and also 24/7 chat support with me. If you guys want to hop inside of the Discord, I will leave a link down below to this Discord community. And from there, I'll see you on the inside.